Politico reporting that Speaker Ryan wants to resign potentially after the midterms. Who do you want to see replace Speaker Ryan?
Well, I think it's way too early to speculate on that. It's been, there's always gossip on Capitol Hill, so we'll see.
All right, well, let's get to the budget then. Is there going to be a government shutdown? Are you guys going to get to some type of deal? Because we just saw the back and forth between Steny Hoyer and Leader McCarthy on the House floor. It looks like there's a lot of tension over this.
Yeah, there is. And, between the House floor and the Senate floor, there's the same thing. We're running into this resistance movement, and Democrats have, on core issues, not cooperated very well. On a handful, it's been really bipartisan. That doesn't get reported as often. But I was encouraged to hear Senator McConnell express the kind of optimism that there's not going to be a government shutdown, because the House has taken action. I mean, we passed all of our appropriations bills back in September. So we're really waiting on the Senate. We in the House have extended the deadline. We've essentially negotiated against ourselves as the Senate says, no thanks, no thanks, no thanks to offer after offer from the House. So I anticipate that means the Senate will finally be sending over something.
You're pushing that military spending bill with a measure to keep the rest of the government funded. But as Congressman Charlie Dent of Pennsylvania mentioned, wouldn't that simply be the Senate stripping out the defense bill and then sending it back as a clean stopgap measure and then keep the government funded?
Well, that may be what the Senate does, but so far they've done nothing. So this would be our third offer at something without anything. To have a negotiation, you have to have a counteroffer. So if you think about something where you're bidding on an object or for a contract or something, you say, well, what about at this price? No. What about this price? No. What about this price? No. And you're negotiating against yourself. What we need is the Senate to engage and say what they're actually for. And if this is what finally gets them to do that, that would be progress.
Congressman, switching gears, you're a small business guy. I mean, you've had small businesses in your past. The Democrats are saying this tax plan is only going to help rich people. What's your response to that?
Well, I would say that it's going to help everyone that I can think of. We've run model after model, and every income level benefits from this tax reform. And if you think at the most basic level, someone in a family, a household, married couple, right now their standard deduction is $12,000. It goes to $24,000. So effectively that's saying, hey, your first $24,000 of income, the tax rate on that's $0. And it goes from there. There were some things in the House bill or in the Senate bill. That's why we're going to conference. I look forward to seeing the final product, but from what I'm hearing, the framework stays true. Both plans were big, bold, pro-growth reform, and I think the conference report's going to sustain that.
Yeah, but look, I mean, Senator Elizabeth Warren, Senator Bernie Sanders, they're throwing the entire Democratic machine, the progressive machine, saying that this is not going to help middle-class Americans. And yes, it's in conference, but what's changed? How can Republicans make this argument? I mean, we saw what happened in Alabama. People are saying that's an anomaly. Leave that out of it. How do you take this case to middle-class Americans, Congressman, saying this is going to help you?
Well, for one, tax receipts to the federal government have only increased when the economy is growing, no matter what the tax rate is. And for two, tax receipts to the federal government go down when the economy isn't growing. And under the previous administration, there were even economists making the argument, the days of 3% growth are long gone. 1.5% is the only thing that's going to work. And so what happened? Wages for everyone have stagnated. People have been working hard, but they're not seeing their take-home pay go up. When does take-home pay go up? It goes up when we have a growing economy, just like tax receipts to the government goes up when we have a growing economy. This is going to grow our economy. And,
all right,
and for validation,